Hi, my name is Joshua, and I've created several Kirby 3D projects in the past, and today, as a request from the user The Crowded One, I will be showing you guys how to recreate Astral Birth Void in Blender 2.8. For the most part, the material is all procedural, except for one small part, which we'll be using our own texture for Void's eyes. We'll be recreating every little detail from Void, from the dark edges that glow around his body, to the brighter inner core, and to the small redness that appears in his eyes. So before we get started, I just wanted to note that I will be using the eevee engine for this tutorial so we can see our changes to our material in real time. And I'm going to press Z on the keyboard and switch over to the render viewport. I'm also going to go to the world tab in our properties panel and change the world background to full black. This way it'll be easier for us to see our changes to our little glowing friend, or foe, Now we can get started. Click and drag on this mid bar over here and move it about halfway on screen. Click on the clock icon in the corner and go to the shader editor to where we will edit our material. You can delete the default principled shader as we won't be using it at all. Let's start off by making the colored lines on Void's body. Press Shift A on your keyboard to add a node and search for the wave texture node. We'll also add in a math node. If we take a look at the wave texture node, you can see the kinds of lines that it produces. However, with the math node, we're going to eliminate the faded edges and sharpen them, as well as adjust the sizes of the lines. So let's plug in the wave texture's color output into the top value input of the math node. And we'll change the math operation from add to less than. Now if you take a look at our lines, it is more solid and has no faded edges. And to decrease the sizes of the lines, let's change the bottom value to something like 0.05. This looks much better, and we can begin to form our line shape with the wave texture. We'll set the scale to be around 2.1. We'll increase the distortion to a number that best looks like the texture of Void. Maybe around 40 should be right. We'll increase the detail to 4.0 and the detail scale to 1.8 or 1.3. And I changed my mind. Let's decrease the detail to something smaller. Now that we have our line set up, we can begin to give it its colors. Let's move everything aside to make space, and now let's add in a noise texture node. Looking at our noise texture, we want to use these exact colors, but we need to increase its saturation just a bit so that it's not too faded. And for that, let's add in a hue and saturation node. I'm going to increase our hue to 0.7, then increase our saturation to 5.0, and counter it by turning the value down to about 0.2. I'm also going to turn down the scale of our noise texture since it's showing a bit too much. Now that's set, but in order for our colors to glow, we need to add in an emission shader so that it can emit light. And we'll turn the emission strength to around 10 or 11. We now have our color set, but now we need to get our material to have the lines emit those colors only, as well as add in the rest of Void's material. So let's add in a mix shader, which we'll use to combine everything, and another emission shader for the rest of Void's body. I'll plug in the new emission shader into the middle input of the mix shader and the noise emission shader into the bottom input. We need it plugged in this specific order because plugging in the math node into the mix shader will use whatever is plugged into the bottom input as the material for the lines, and whatever is in the middle as the rest of the material. So plug in the math node into the factor input like so, and there you go. I'm also going to turn up the middle emission strength to 2.5 so that the body isn't so dark. Awesome, we finished making the colored lines of Void. Now we're going to go ahead and create the center part of Void that glows. For that, let's add in another emission shader, which we'll call as the core emission. We'll also add in a layer weight node and a color ramp node. And of course, to combine everything, we'll add in a mix shader. I'm going to quickly adjust the brightness of the white emission shader. This is because the center of Void happens to be much brighter than all around the sides of him. I'm also going to turn up the strength of the core emission to 2.5 just like the other one. And we'll plug it into the bottom input of the mix shader so that our nodes on the top will use the material of the core emission. A layer weight node is what is used to layer shaders as the Fresnel of the material or the face of it. and plugging it into the color ramp node, we can adjust how much we can use. This will act as our strength control. The black shade of the color ramp is what is the face or the body of the material, while the white shade is our Fresnel of the material. And because our core emission is what is currently our Fresnel, let's invert the colors on the color ramp. Let's adjust it so that the white goes as much towards the center. Once you found a good point, you can plug in the color ramp's color output into the factor input of the mix shader. This is exactly how we want it to look, so this is perfect. We're now halfway done with Void's material. Now we're going to unwrap our texture for Void's eyes onto our sphere and create the material for his eyes. Let's add in an image texture node to import his eyes. I will have a download link available to download my texture for Void's eyes so that you guys may use it. The link will be in the description below. Once you've downloaded it, open it up to the image texture node. Once you've opened the image texture from your computer, let's go into one of our windows in Blender. Click the corner icon again and go into the UV editor and find your image through the drop down menu. Now that I have it open, I'm going to go into my front view in orthographic. Then I'll press tab on my keyboard to go into edit mode. I'll switch over to face select instead of vertices select. Then I'll press C on my keyboard and I'm going to select a small portion of the front of my face. It's important to remember this because we don't want Void's eyes to be too big on our small sphere. That's why my selection is very small. Once you've selected your portion, the UVs of the sphere should already be unwrapped onto the texture in the UV editor. We want our UVs to completely cover Void's eyes and mouth. So I'm going to press S on my keyboard in the UV editor to size up or down my UVs. And I'll press G to grab and move my UVs up or down. And just adjust the UVs until they fit perfectly onto the texture. Now that we have the front of Void unwrapped, there's one more thing we need to do before continuing. We've unwrapped the part of our sphere where the eyes are going, but what about the other parts? Notice how our faces we selected were already unwrapped onto the texture. So that means the other faces of the sphere would also be unwrapped somewhere on our texture. And we need to make sure it doesn't cover Void's eyes. So click on the select button in the HUD. The HUD may be on the top of the window for you, and click Invert. This inverts our selection obviously. And taking a look at our UV editor, we get the rest of the UVs unwrapped all over the texture. So let's press S on our keyboard and size down our UVs until it doesn't touch the texture whatsoever. It's alright that our UVs are this small because we won't be using those faces anyways. Now that our sphere is unwrapped the way we want it, we can now give the eyes a material so we can see it on the sphere. You can just add in a diffuse node and change the color to black as the material. However, just like before, we did see some redness in Void's eyes, so that's what we're going to try and create. So let's add in another mix shader node to combine the alpha of the eyes with both materials. Then, and this is for the eyes, we'll add in a mapping node to help set the coordinates of what we'll be using for Void's eyes, which will be a noise texture. Then we'll add in a color ramp node as our controller, and finally a hue and saturation node. I'm going to quickly just plug in everything so we can see the material of the eyes. I'll plug in the noise texture's color output into the color ramp's input, and the color ramp's color output into the saturation's color input. Now that we have that set up, we're going to use the alpha channel from our image texture node as a mask that will use the bottom material setup as a material for the eyes. This is basically the same as what we did with the layer weight and the color ramp node earlier. So we'll plug in the mix shader from above into the middle input of our new mix shader. Then we'll plug in our hue and saturation node into the bottom input, since that will be our material for our eyes. And then finally, we'll plug in the alpha output of our image texture node into the factor input of the mix shader. If we take a look above, we now have Void's eyes and mouth projected onto our sphere, but for some reason, at least on my end, the eyes and mouth are crooked. So let's go back into edit mode, go to select, and invert our selection again so that we only change the UVs of Void's face. And then I'm going to go back to my UV editor window. I'm going to press R on my keyboard to rotate and rotate it by -90 degrees. Now that we have our texture correctly unwrapped this time, we can begin to work on our material. When the noise texture's color output is plugged into the color ramp uses its black and white values to desaturate the noise texture with the only given colors on the panel. We can see this so, if we click on our white shade on our color ramp, and change its color to something like dark red. And we'll actually keep it that color for Void's eyes. Then I'll click on the black shade of the ramp and drag it towards the center of the panel. And as we do that, we can see the changes being made in Void's eyes. I'll turn up the saturation to something like 3 and increase the value to 2. The material is set up. Now all we need to do is position the red spots to where we want them to be in the eyes. To do so, let's add in a texture coordinate node. We'll be using a tiling method for this rather than a UV projection, so we'll take the generated output from the texture coordinate node and plug it into the mapping node. And then we'll plug in our output from the mapping node into the vector input of the noise texture. We'll use the mapping node to relocate the position of the noise texture in front, but before we make any changes to the location, I'm going to decrease the scale on the noise texture to 2.0. Now, we can play around with the rotation and location of our noise texture with the mapping node. There isn't really any correct coordinates for this part, as you can move them around to however you think looks best. I found a good position for my noise texture, however it's positioned all the way to the top to where you can barely see it, so I'm just going to adjust our value input on the hue and saturation node until it becomes somewhat noticeable. Okay, that looks better. We finished the material for Void's eyes. Now we have one last part to do, and that's to create the dark edges, or the dark fresnel, that can be seen around its body. For the dark fresnel, I'm going to add in one last emission shader. Then to create our dark fresnel, I'm going to add in another layer weight node, and our last color ramp node. And finally, our last mix shader node to combine everything we just created previously with our dark fresnel. Since the fresnel is obviously going to be dark, I'm going to change the color of our fresnel from white to black. And because this emission shader will be used for the dark fresnel, we'll plug it into the bottom input of our mix shader. Then we'll take the rest of our material from this previous mix shader and plug it into the middle input. And now to create our dark edges, we'll take the fresnel output of the layer weight node into the color ramp input, and our color ramp output from the color ramp into the factor input of the mix shader. Taking a look at our fresnel through the color ramp node, this does look good. However, I want it to be more noticeable on the very edge and have it fade out more going into the center, rather than having it all completely evened out or immediately cut. We could just stick with our current math interpolation, which we're using, linear. However, I'm going to switch it over to B-spline so we can get more control of the inner part rather than the whole stop. I rendered an example comparing the two interpolations when calculating the color stops. We can use the color ramp to control how strong our fresnel is. I'm going to leave it around there. I think that looks good. And that about covers it. We finished making Astral Birth Void in Blender. You can even use the same settings to change the colors of Void, kind of like how I did in the example of the comparison image. We can even go into our properties panel and turn on bloom settings to see how it emits light through the eevee engine. If you plan on animating Void, you can do so by just adding in a mapping node to the back of the noise or wave textures and a texture coordinate node. Once you've done this, you can add keyframes to the mapping node values on different frames. And that is how at least I attempted to recreate Astral Birth Void from Kirby in Blender. I hope that not only does this tutorial teach you on how to create Void for yourself, but as well as on how certain nodes work in Blender and how they can be used with other nodes to create some interesting results. If you want me to create more tutorials on Kirby enemies or objects just like this one, then let me know in the comments below, as well as your thoughts on this tutorial. And if you found this video helpful in any way, make sure to leave a like on the video so that more people can find this video in their results. Also be sure to subscribe to this channel for more procedural tutorials like these. Thanks for watching.